in, everyone, to episode 184 of the HurricaneKaz podcast. It's 2025, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Josh and Kaz. Twastell is...
I will never get used to you saying Josh. I'm just throwing
it's a weird thing, right? Because, like, I never call Butter Steven, right? But I only to his wife. Like, occasionally I might reference, like, I'm just talking to his wife, I'll reference him as Steven because I know that's what she calls him. So, I just want to make sure that, I mean, she obviously would know who I'm talking about anyway, but I don't know. It's just, easier for like me to say that. And then, but like Speedy, for example, I rarely call him Will. I say Will sometimes if, like, again, it's like the Butters thing where I'll say Will when I'm like around production, Be his fiance too. So I guess like significant others and like professional like co-work colleagues and stuff. Because backstage in production with like our our production staff and stuff, they call him Will. So dude, everyone just gotta be like me and just name yourself. Like, you got people calling you different things based on the situation. Like, how much, like, it's not a lot of brain power, but it takes extra brain power to like sit there and to process what I should be saying, right?
Yeah. I mean, my name is like Kate, right? But at least like the part of my trainer name that people usually just call me like Kaz. At least it starts with like the same letter, so it's kind of like not as hard to swap over.
Kaz really trying to rationalize it a little bit. Me like, I'm not as bad as people like Josh and Will and Steven, okay?
It's true. There's a sliding scale, and like you're up here, and like I'm in the middle, and like Josh Steven is down here.
Yeah, dude, the best part is Kaz had two ways to approach it. She could have been like in solidarity with other people that also don't use their real name as my username. I get why.
Listen,
but instead she's like, no, I'm much closer to the true.
Kaz is based on my last name, so like it's not totally taken from nowhere. It's a family nickname, okay?
That's true.
So like,
yeah. Meanwhile,
so like, get off your high horse, Caleb.
Yeah. In the meantime, my legal name is being used as a punchline.
I'm glued to this horse.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Twastell can't make it. Tristan, who his name actually makes sense though, because his first name begins with T and his last name is actually Twastell.
Yeah, the problem is that he created a name that people can, when they look at it, they can like sound it out, right?
Yep.
Like Twastell. So that's what everyone has done. Yeah, everyone says Twastell because they just read it as one word.
Like,
they don't
like that.
They don't consider the possibility that it's an actual name.
I called him Twastell for years, and I think I finally asked him one day, and he's like, "Oh, I actually prefer Twastell." I was like, "Ain't no one know? You're like Drapion, Ain't no one call you Drapion. They're saying Drapion. You're like
I'll
Tropius,
still never say Drapion.
Yeah, Twastell is our local Drapion trope.
Well, like in Australia, obviously we've got AVRIP, right? And on the world's broadcast and all else, he was being referred to as AVRIP. And his name was like full lowercase. So it was like, you take a stab at what it actually is. He got so annoyed at that he changed the capitalization of his name. So it was capital A Average.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah. No, because I remember you told me it was average. So I made an effort to it. But then I was looking at his name once and I was just like, why did I used to call him A Rip? It does. It makes sense because it's lowercase to be average. But that makes sense. I mean, that's no one's fault but his by making the first two letters capitalized, right? So like, can't blame him on that one. It's kind of someone else was like that. 610 Hero.
Yeah.
Butters used to like to call him 610 Hero because it sounds cooler, right? And it's like rhymes.
It does sound cooler.
but 610's like, no, I prefer it's actually 610 Hero. So I'm like,
but how are we? Again, it's like, how are we supposed to know?
Have you ever seen the show The 100? It's like a CW show.
Haven't seen. I've seen it pop up.
Well, anyway, I used to always call it the 100 and stuff because it's literally the word "the" and then the
it's the number.
The number.
Yeah.
Right?
Do not tell me that it's called THE100.
No. But the actual pronunciation is the 100, not the 100. It was kind of like the Mandela effect, where I thought that. I was like, "There's no way it's not the 100," and then I looked it up, and the first thing in Wikipedia says pronounced the 100. Fantastic show, by the way. If anyone ever needs something to watch, it's one of the shows where like, who's a good guy and bad guy is not very clear throughout, which is nice.
I have heard that it's good.
Yeah, first season, it's not bad. It's not amazing because it's just a bunch of like CW actors, like first time acting kind of thing. But it just like gets so good afterward. One of my favorite shows of all time. Anyway, we're on a bunch of tangents here. Twastell unfortunately can't make it. But he's still on the pod for sure. I heard he got some upgraded equipment too.
Yeah.
So
I am looking forward to seeing how that works out.
Yeah.
When he is able to join us next week. Hopefully.
He's very excited about it too, and I appreciate everyone on this podcast putting in the effort to upgrade their equipment and stuff too. Because for me, like I've been doing this for years with Ionic and stuff, so I've had this stuff, but I know you all joined more recently.
Well,
so.
for me, it's usually did my husband get some nice new technology that I can take advantage of, and in this case, yes.
Happy wife, happy life. All right, let's get into the events though. We have Fashion Week coming up to kick things off. Anyone want to take this one? Anyone love Fashion Week?
I love cute little costumes, especially since with this one we get another chance to get one where we can evolve the Minchino into the Cinchino, because sometimes they'll give us these costumes and they're like womp womp, no evolution for you. So this one is nice. Fashion Week, Friday, January 10th at 10 a.m. to Sunday, January 19th, 2025 at 8 p.m. local time. So we get a little over a week of this, which is also really nice.
9 days almost.
Yeah, and which is especially nice because there's a 2-time Stardust bonus. Love
we
that.
just came off of a 4-time Stardust bonus for like half a day, But hey, I get you. Me personally, I actually didn't even grind that much, so I just been kind of passively playing these days. But
so that'd
be nice for a full week. Over a week of this.
2 times chance for trainers level 31 and up to receive Candy XL from catching Pokemon. Also nice. Increased chance to encounter Shiny Kirlia wearing a fashionable costume. Is it like the same one with the hat, I assume?
Probably. I'm assuming that like there's a few costumes in this, and I think that they're all, except for the new one, just taken from the previous Fashion Week.
Yeah. I would assume so as well.
Which is fine because not everyone has those from past, right? So
increased chance to encounter the following shiny Pokemon from field research tasks and raids. So I assume these are going to be like maybe in tasks and raids only. Butterfree wearing its fashionable costume, Dragonite wearing its fashionable costume, and Minchino wearing its fashionable costume. Plus Furfrou, no costume.
It packs its own costume in game, I guess. So
that's true. It's got those style and do's. Pokemon debuts, new costume Pokemon will appear during this event. Minchino wearing fashionable costume and Cinchino. I don't know how to pronounce this.
Minchino and Cinchino, the one I don't remember which one's the right order though. Is this?
Yeah, no.
Minchino's the first one, right?
Yes, Minchino. Yeah, because like that's the only one that's specified as you can get shiny. So I would assume that would be the base form, and then it evolves into Cinchino. And it'll still be wearing the costume, which is very cute. It's like little glasses with some bows on its little big ears. And wild encounters. These Pokemon will appear more frequently in the wild. Diglett wearing its costume, Skitty, Baneri, Blitzel wearing its costume, Furfrou, and Bruxish. All of these can be shiny in the wild except for the Bruxish. No shiny debut for that.
What? It's been shiny.
Bruxish? No.
Oh no, sorry. I'm thinking about Blissful, which is like right above that. Yeah. Sorry.
Some trainers might even encounter the following: Kirlia wearing a fashionable costume, and they already specified that Kirlia, I guess, has a higher chance of being shiny in the wild, even if it seems like the chance of it appearing in the wild is slightly lower.
Can it evolve?
No.
Okay.
No.
I've got a hundo actually.
Unfortunately, you cannot have a Gardevoir.
Sounds like we know what maxing out for the next veteran bet. No, I'm just saying.
I think it's already maxed out.
I actually have. Oh, really? Oh, okay. See, you shouldn't have told me that because then
Yeah.
you could have been like, real big chiller,
Okay,
right?
no, here's
You
the
could have been
thing.
like,
Here's
here
the
it
thing.
goes. Oh,
No, you. Oh wait.
I would
no,
have assumed that, like,
have.
if I pulled it up and I was like, "Oh, it's already max," you'd be like, "Oh, well, you have to power up a new one." So
Yeah, exactly.
You know me too well.
The following
Hope you get
Pokemon
another 100
will
this win.
appear in raids. 1-star raids is Shinx wearing its costume and Minchino wearing its costume, as well as Furfrou. 3-star raids are Butterfree and Dragonite wearing their costumes. Again, all of those shiny eligible. And
Okay.
yeah, that's about it. We do have a ticket, of course, with extra XP, extra Stardust.
$5.
Yeah, $5 American or equivalent pricing tier in your local currency.
Back in my day, you used to be able to buy a footlong from Subway with that. Not anymore. Now they're like $6 footlongs, I think.
Yeah, they can't. They don't have that nice turn of phrase anymore. Yeah, you get XP, Stardust, event-themed avatar pose, which looks like just a little walk, like actually in space. Maybe that's weird.
like a
that looks like a pseudo runway, but it looks more like an indoor like tarmac.
Well, I'm just wondering, like, if that's the pose, like, is your trainer on your like profile screen gonna be like walking in place, kind of like that one legend pose, or is it like actually gonna like walk forward like this?
Because
I would think walking in place.
It looks like it would walk distance based on like how they've designed this little GIF, but like
but it is weird though because it doesn't really loop very well because then you all of a sudden start from all the way back again, you know. Like you're just like walking up and then teleporting back, walking up and teleport. I don't know.
I think it's going to be walking in place. I don't think they want to put that much energy into the code.
But I mean, that's pretty much all you get for $5, really. I mean, you're basically paying for the pose. So
yeah, exactly.
Which is honestly fine with me. You know, if they want to sell poses, skins, all that stuff, like a lot of other games do that too.
Yeah, people can have that if they want that. I will never get that myself. But.
Yeah.
Unless they allow me to put on wings and fly away like my favorite birds, then it's not happening.
You're listening, Niantic. This is how you get Kaz's money.
True.
And it looks like we get some new avatar items in the shop. This, like, I don't know, frankly, weird-looking, ill-fitting suit.
I don't care what the items are. Just don't break the GBL and PvP, and that's good with me, right? I don't care if you introduce 1 million new avatar items. Just quality check that last bit a little bit.
Please,
do every combination you can. You know?
Yeah, please make sure.
No All-Star mask with Fashion Week like ears, and all of a sudden it's.
Oh God, yeah.
We'll talk more about that later.
Please make sure it doesn't break the game first. Yeah. Please and thank you.
That being said, we have another cool event. It's Rocket Takeover, and our PvPers love this event because usually there is something new that's brought in. Wednesday the 15th, it overlaps with Fashion Week, which I feel like they did that last year too, actually, or 2 years ago maybe even. But I know it definitely one of the years they overlapped it with the Rocket event. Anyway, as always, actually starts at midnight, but it ends at 8 p.m. for some reason. Wednesday, Sunday.
Yeah,
weird.
we've talked about this before. It's like, why?
I wish these were also like at least a week long too, but I don't know why. Anyway, Pokemon debut. We got Toxic Mouse Pokemon coming out. Shroodle. That's a pretty cool name. And its evolution, how do you pronounce that?
I would say Graphii because like there's a real animal called an eye. Like called an eye that this seems to be based off of, like the big eyes, the sort of. I think it's like a monkey or something.
Yeah. I mean, I trust you. You're
related.
It seems related.
Zoologist, so
it's true. Pokemonologist.
Yeah, Pokemonologist.
Looks like Mort from Madagascar.
Yes. Yeah, because they're related to lemurs too. Yeah. Like they're.
I was a big fan of that show Zambubufu growing up. Rest in peace. But it's spelled Grafaii. That's why I was like, how do you pronounce this? I thought it was like giraffe rig at first, and I was like, no, that's definitely not right.
Man, these San Francisco types are just trying to put AI into everything.
My bet would be graphite, like, because it's like a combination of graffiti and like the animal eye. Like that's my theory.
We're locking it
If
in.
anyone uses it competitively, I'll definitely know the correct pronunciation.
It's
So,
true.
Just make it meta, I guess. So yeah, Strudel and Graphite will be making Pokemon Go debut, and Strudel will be they'll be hatching from 12-kilometer eggs, so they're not in the wilds. But me personally, I like to stock up on a lot of 12-kilometer eggs, so that's not the end of the world. It's just that you'll have to. It's just a good thing to save for like low friendship trades, I guess, in the future too.
I'm so bad at making room though for like a bunch of 12K eggs.
That's all I do
at the same time.
That's all I do. Yeah, that's all. Whenever I hatch an egg, I just hold on to that space until I could get a radar going. I have a bunch of radar stock from like past community days too, so that's usually.
Because here's the thing, I only just I think over the winter event, like the winter holiday event, I only just hatched my first of those like. What's like the metal poison, like engine looking thing? I can't remember its name. Varoom. I only hatched my first one of those like 2 weeks ago. And that also is one that debuted only in the 12K egg. So I'm not looking forward to my odds here.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of room either, actually, to be fair. So even though I say I hatch all these 12-kilometer eggs, it's I don't know. Maybe I'm not hatching as much. I just use a infinity incubator all the time, and then use 12 kilometer eggs at once. Anyway, event bonuses. Team Go Rocket will appear more frequently in Pokestops and balloons, and you can charge TM Shadow Pokemon to forget the charge attack. Frustration. Fantastic. I know some people have been waiting for that.
Yeah. Set your alarms now, battlers.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, even if you don't set your alarms, you have 4 days during the time.
Put it in your calendars.
I will definitely forget too. No hate on Purple Kyogre, but I do remember there was like this one post from right before Teddy Ursa Community Day where he had like a Ursa, like a really high rank Ursa Luna or something saved, and he's like, "Please, Niantic, please allow me to TM this off." And look at the date. I was like, dude, you caught this like 2 years ago. We've had so many rocket events at any time in the past 2 years. Like, that's kind of wild, Purple Kyogre. Anyway, I get it though. I mean, maybe he just didn't think of every meta relevant, so he had to save his charge GMs. I don't know his charge GM situation, but I always just TM like the best of every shadow thing I get until I get one. But
I haven't done that. But I'm also like, I don't want to spend all my charge TMs. Like,
how many you got?
I'm probably sitting on like 80 or something.
What? That's plenty.
But like, it doesn't move that much. Like, I don't spend that many. I don't make that many. So we sort of keep in a.
But you play in a Battle Frontier, right? You use a lot.
No.
What the heck are you using it on then? Are you just not GBLing enough?
Yeah, pretty much.
Are you not winning two battles?
I keep going 1-4 all the way down.
Yeah. Actually, unrelated to that, but kind of related is I was so I have family in China and stuff. Pretty much outside my parents, everyone's in China, and I need to go back and visit them sometime. I literally haven't visited them since before Pokemon Go came out. So so it's been like over like 10 years. It's been a while, and I was like, you can't play Pokemon Go there. So I'm looking at Reddit and stuff. I'm like, how do we do this? Because it was like, I can't make content. I can't do nothing there, right? Like, you can't use YouTube. You can't, like, everything's firewalled off. And, but then Nighttime Clash was there. And he was doing that caster tournament and playing there. I was just like, the heck? How's he playing, right? How's he PvPing? And he told me, he was like, I think he told me this. He was just like, oh, as long as you have, like, data, like, international data plan you buy for, like, the time there, it works. But you can't catch anything, right? He said, I think you can hatch stuff, but you can't collect eggs. So, I guess. Like,
there's no stops. There's no wild spawns. Yeah, but I can see what he's saying. Like, as long as you're using just your data,
you can log into
PvP. You could log into at least battle with trainers or like. Maybe even GBL?
So that's the thing. Can you do for GBL? So I'm Googling this, right? I'm looking at all these Reddit threads. And apparently you can, which is crazy. You could GBL, but you can't actually catch a Pokemon in China. So here's the thing. So here's my plan, right? Because I'm going to have to visit my family eventually, right? So my plan is I'm going to go there and I'm only going to win 2 battles per set, and they just top left everyone. I never top left. I never take my elo like that. But for the first time, I will have to because then I never have to encounter, so I'm good. I need to make sure it's not early in the season though, because early in the season you have that one part where you have to catch a Pokemon right at every step.
Just go for like the last week because
I had to plan this out, or like the last month of GBL, or even halfway through GBL. Honestly, like even if it's like after a week of GBL, that's fine because I can make sure to do that part before I go. Right, like I'll just put an effort to get to that part. But so that's my plan. My only fear is if someone else top less for whatever reason is tanking too, and then I'm just screwed if I'm already at right? But like for once, like I don't want to like, and I'm thinking too. I was like, dude, how funny it would be like that's a cool video. I feel like if you're like playing Pokemon Go PvP in China, right? And you just see my YouTube video, be like, yeah, so these are my 2 wins this set, and then I just quit out the next 2, and then here we go. You know, it's so weird because perpetually I'll be probably facing easier opponents because I'm constantly going negative.
Yeah,
you know? No, but I think the idea is to go at least 2 wins so that I could at least like stay like. We're not doing elo bet that season for sure.
Yeah, the problem will be it's like at a certain point you'll be facing opponents that are just throwing the weirdest stuff at you because it's people at a level where they're just like, oh my god, I just have to get these battles done for my level up or whatever research. Who will top left first?
I mean, in fairness, like you're only also going to get 10 battles a day, so you're not going to move too quick, pretty much.
Yeah,
like 10 actual battles, 2 times 5.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Wait, what do you mean by move quick?
Oh, I guess that doesn't quite work out. I was like, oh, you won't tank too fast if you're not playing that.
No, I'm still losing, a full 5 sets. It's not like my other 3 battles I'm just banking it for later. Like I'm just automatically losing them. Yeah. Maybe I'll do something weird where I try to use the wackiest Pokemon to try to make it work and see if I can pull off 2 wins, you know? Like I can do some fun stuff with it, I guess.
No, you just do auto-rect, you know? Just whatever the game decides.
Yeah, maybe. We gotta think of like the weirdest stuff. Like Attack Deoxys is like definitely one. Anyway, we're super off topic here.
Team Go Rocket event. There's once the Rocket Takeover comes out, there's the Krogunk as well in the snapshots, which wasn't in the previous announcement bit, I guess.
But that they added Shadow Krogunk back?
Yeah, the costume Krogunk is also coming in to this part of the Fashion Week event.
Yeah, it seems like it's only going to be available as a surprise encounter from the snapshots, which is something they have done before. But yeah, apparently it's not going to be like in any way available in the other main part of the fashion event. It's only with this Rocket segment.
So, interesting. What if are Shadow Krogunk still in the Rockets encounters?
Well, the encounter.
What I'm wondering is if you see one, does it have to fit? You know, because there was something.
I don't think so.
There's a time period where they had Raticate in the stops, and you could get the party hat Raticate during that event.
Yeah, but they are shifting. They're adding some Shadow Pokemon with this rotation as well. So one of which is a poison type, the Trubbish. So I think they'll probably not have the Krogunk like in them. There's no fighting type, so maybe it could still be an option for the fighting type Rockets. But
honestly, if it's between that and Mankey, I'd be pretty happy with like.
But it doesn't specify this at all, so that's probably something we won't find out until the event starts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know, so certain Pokemon will be making their debut as well. And of course, the Rocket leaders will have something too. We don't really know what they are yet. We have Talos, Snivy, Tepig, Oshawott, Trubbish, and Bunnelby, which are pretty interesting. Particularly I think the Snivy, Bunnelby, and Oshawott are probably the most interesting one. Tepig, I don't really think it's going to be that good. But Bunnelby definitely for sure. Probably like Diggersby, Shadow Diggersby should definitely be really interesting. I think Snivy could have some interesting play too, right? Shadow Superior. And then Oshawott, I think probably for like more limited formats, Battle Frontier and stuff like that could be really, really good too.
Yeah.
Shadow there. But
I think one thing that isn't getting mentioned as much as well is that there is also Return Diggersby, which is an interesting thought. Like, people were doing The Sims, and it looks amazing in The Sims because you're correctly baiting with Scorching Sands, and then landing these big returns. And obviously, it's not going to be that good, but it does seem like a pretty interesting side grade that I think is actually going to get some legitimate play because it looks pretty.
There
decent.
are already, I would say a handful of Diggersby out there running like Scorching Sands Hyper Beam. So this is kind of similar, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like it's probably a little better once it's got returned, but it's out there. It's interesting.
All right.
I think I mean, with the Fire Punch buff too, it's already pretty strong in a lot of matchups that used to lose, like Mandibus and stuff too. So, dang, look at Mittens looking real comfy here.
I know.
My cats are just
very comfy,
counting down, of course.
He's very demanding.
Hey.
If I'm in this house, he has to be on my lap. Those are just the rules.
That's
I don't
incredible.
make the rules. He
Honestly,
makes the rules.
When I'm sleeping, Cheggy has to be on my stomach, which has been like. It's kind of tough because it's hard to sleep, Like she's also like she's lighter than my other cat, Cranberry, but she's smaller too. So it's like the pressure of all that weight's like in like a more concentrated spot,
Mittens is, I don't know if like his full body is ever, he's a very small boy. Like look at this tiny boy. So he's very light whenever he sits on my lap or like whenever he sleeps on me. Like it's not that big a deal. He's very,
okay.
He weighs nothing.
I get that.
Well, anyway,
that's a comfy cat.
That's another tangent.
Okay, Team Go Rocket event. There's also Strudel and Eggs, 1-star raids. It's all a bunch of shadows. Nidoran, Totodile,
Totodile's probably the most
Magma,
useful one.
Wobbuffet. So I guess you can get your Shadow Gators with raid IVs, which is it's better than not having it, I guess.
Are they not in the stops anymore?
I mean, they might be, but we won't.
I think they are in like one of the one with all the starters, maybe, but maybe they took that out too. I don't know.
Well, we'll find out when the event starts, I suppose. There's field research with all the mysterious components or whatever. And I think the only other thing that we scrolled past was that Shadow Palkia is going to be debuting as well from Giovanni. So I don't know if that's like, obviously it's a sort of Great League debut of Palkia. I don't think it's that hot though. So,
Yeah, because I mean, if you're looking at it in terms of Master League, you want the origin form with the special move. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that's like, maybe wiped regular Palkia off of the map a little bit. Certainly, it will still be very useful in like limited formats, like the Battle Frontier that we mentioned, stuff like that. But yeah, it's interesting that they're doing Palkia first and not Dialga, since Dialga comes first in the Pokedex. Normally, they kind of go in order.
Yeah.
Is it some wacky reason like, oh, well, like Palkia is white and it is the black and white season, so...
I don't know. We'd have to request that info from Niantic, and they'll never tell us because we can't have nice things. So
yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I guess that's the Rocket Takeover event. The only other bit that we didn't mention is that this is the first and only current Pokemon that's like a normal poison type. So it's a unique typing coming to PvP as well. Not that it's that great a typing, because like, one of poison's benefits is that it resists fighting, and then you're just adding normal type back in to make it neutral again. So it's not that great.
And you're still and you still have all the poison type weaknesses to ground. So
it's out there, but that's that, I suppose. And I guess the sort of conjoining part being following on with the Rocket bit is that Shadow Ho-Oh is also going to have a Shadow Raid Day during the Fashion Week on the Sunday, January 19th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And, it's 5 free raid passes, increased chance of encountering Shiny Ho-Oh from Shadow Raids, and there's a ticket if you want some extra raid passes and a better chance of getting Rare Candy XL, plus 50% more XP and 2 times Stardust. But that's about it, I think.
Yeah. We've seen Shadow Ho-Oh so much. Like at this point, who's really going to be doing this? I'm just curious.
I will not be there.
I don't. As much as I love the birds, and I do still need XL for my Shundo Ho-Oh, I don't think this is something I'll be doing either.
I think it'd be cool if I get like the Shadow Hundo, but outside of that, like the odds of that are pretty low. I do have a ton of raid passes still though to spend. I just haven't been raiding. I don't remember the last time I did a raid. I don't know about you all.
I remember exactly the last time I did a raid. It was to get a holiday costume Dedenne.
that's right. That is the last time I did
One
a
of us might
raid.
need to make that happen today too. I don't know about you all, but that might be a thing.
Today. I don't know.
Today.
No.
No. If you're both shaking your head, then okay, then
Yeah,
it's
we're
probably
all good.
no. Okay. Well, we'll probably get that. Anyway, the race is still on. We have GoFest dates have been released and announced, and of course, it does overlap with NAIC for one of them. But it's a
unfortunate.
European one though, not the
American one for goodness sake. Jeez.
Yeah. NAIC during the US Go Fest one would be kind of crazy. But
that would
so
be wild.
here are the dates. Osaka, Japan, May 29th to June 1st. For the US is Jersey City, New Jersey. Interesting. Look, I haven't really been to Jersey City ever, so I don't know. But honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of where it was at the past few years in New York City because it's just like it was so hard to get to that island. It was a lot of space for sure, but it was so hot too, and it's like not very accessible. Like you couldn't even take an Uber there. You had to like it was kind of or a Lyft there. So.
Listen, I know, but I promise you, anything's better than Jersey.
Why do you hate on Jersey so much?
I lived in New York for 5 years.
What does that? What does that do with Jersey?
I gotta. There's beef. I gotta.
Okay. You lived there 5 years. What happened the 5 years to help you develop this beef? You know, at what point?
Nothing. It's just it gets like it's in the card that they give to you on day one when you move to New York.
Yeah.
It's like you must hate New Jersey. That's just those are the rules, and I don't make the rules.
Okay. Let me ask you this, Kaz. Have you ever been to New Jersey before?
Yes.
Okay. How many times? Once? Twice?
I've stayed there 3 times.
Okay.
Like I've stayed in Jersey 3 times to my memory, for various reasons.
I hope that all 3 times was an awful time, right? To justify your hatred. It's got to, right?
No, it was fine.
That's like if I just randomly said like, Arizona, we gotta hate Arizona because I'm in California now.
But listen, but I'll tell you what, my friend that lives in New York that I did go and stay with, like to go to the New York Go Fest when I went, she immediately was like, in Jersey City, ? Exclamation point.
I mean, hey.
So I'm telling you, all the New York Pokemon Go players are gonna be throwing some shade. Right. I bet.
Respect from my end, because imagine if they announced, Australia Go Fest in Perth. I mean, we'd be popping up.
Yeah.
Debbie!
Ever since you told me how Perth's way bigger than Newcastle and got way more stuff going on in Newcastle, I'm just like the fact that you're hating on it makes even less sense. That's like if Jersey people were hating on New York, that's how it feels, right? Not the other way around.
I'll tell you, that's part of the issue is like people in New Jersey are often claiming like, oh, we live in New York. And what part of New York? New Jersey.
That's
it's
true.
Like,
I don't know if it's still the case anymore, but I remember it might still be. But like for the professional football teams here in US, the New York Giants and New York Jets, their stadium is in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Is it still the case? I know years ago.
I don't know.
But
I don't remember.
They're
it's
literally
been a while
New York
since I lived
teams,
there.
and they play and practice in New Jersey. Well, I don't know if they practice there, but they play like their games.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy, but.
Anyway, no hate if you want to go to
no
Jersey
hate. It's
City.
too late to say no hate.
Sure.
You spent the past 5 minutes hating.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Anyway, New Jersey, June 6th to June 8th, and there's no conflict there. And then the next one, which is Paris, France, June 13th to June 15th, that is during NAIC weekend.
Yeah.
So for our European friends, that want to go to NAIC, we'll have to definitely make a concession there.
I mean, with the American one in Jersey City being like the weekend before, it's not unreasonable to think that if European players really wanted to, that they'll
come to New Jersey.
Yeah,
and then
they could go to Jersey and then like go down to NOLA the week after.
Yeah, so, that's fair.
It's even on the way, I guess, flight wise.
On the way,
it is. Yeah, because you go because Jersey's right to like the east or west, pretty much, and you go south right after, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I would see what you're saying. Yeah, no, so it's I mean it's reasonable. Meanwhile, like I said, my friends were texting me and they were like, "Oh, Jersey City, like June 6th, like you guys want to come up here? Like it's still a train ride from New York." And I was like, "Ooh, I don't think I can go to both." It's a little bit tougher travel timeline for me because I was already planning on going to New Orleans like for a little bit of extra time, to enjoy the that city like outside of the competition. So a little less reasonable for me, but some people might be able to make it work. So
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course Paris right after that. So usually the US Go Fest is the last one too. So interesting to see that it's not.
yeah, there's also nothing in here about like a global Go Fest, which usually takes place after all the in-person ones. So hopefully they're not planning on nixing that.
I doubt it. They'll probably
yeah.
just announce it later too, and that's
Yeah.
usually sometime before Worlds as well. So and there will be no because after NIC there aren't any tournaments, right? So there will be no conflicts with that. At least.
One piece of speculation is that the Go Fest might end up wrapping around the like Go Fest Pokemon Go anniversary in July. But
that makes sense.
It's just words.
That would make sense.
But it would make sense, but we'll see.
Yeah. That would make sense. So hopefully we do get some information about that later for all the people who are out there thinking like, oh, I can't go to any of these.
Yes, correct. Speaking of updates on events too, we have an update on the Go Tour Unova. And I'm excited about this one because it's just like right in my backyard. It's pretty much in LA. So I will be there. And as speculated by us, Black Kyurem and White Kyurem are actually making their Pokemon Go debut. Not technical debut, but official debut, right? They had a leak debut before, but this is the official one.
As a treat.
Yes. As they say, does anyone feel a chill in the air? Black Kyurem and White Kyurem will make their Pokemon Go debut during Pokemon Go Tour Unova. And then all trainers will be able to experience these forms through phenomenon known as Pokemon Fusion. So it's kind of cool. Let's see. How to fuse. So trainers can fuse Kyurem and Zekrom using 1,000-volt fusion energy and 30 Kyurem candy, 30 Zekrom candy. And the same thing for White Kyurem, except it's Reshiram and the respective Reshiram candy. And then they'll remain in this form until the trainer separates them. So kind of a lot like Necrozma.
I was gonna say this sounds almost exactly like how Necrozma works. So it's not necessarily a new mechanic for anyone to to learn about, which is nice. I gotta say that's actually kind of nice.
Yes, and so here's where it gets interesting. Black Kyurems, so they have special exclusive moves. Free Shock for Black Kyurem, and Charge Attack. So if you fuse the Zekrom with the Kyurem that knows Glaciite will transform into Free Shock. You have to already know Glaciite first. Free Shock will change back to Glaciite when Zekrom is separated. And then White Kyurem's Ice Burn. At first I thought it was Ice Beam. I was like, dude, that ain't nothing new.
Let's go.
Yeah, Ice Burn. So with Reshiram, same thing with Glaciite thing. You just get Ice Burn. And then we don't really know what the moves do exactly, but probably some people will figure that out maybe before the event. And the event's like not that far away, so we'll probably find out soon enough. Collecting fusion energy as well. Volt fusion energy and Blaze fusion energy are very rare sources of power that can fuse into Kyurem's powerful alternate forms. And you can obtain early access to that energy after defeating Black Kyurem or White Kyurem in raids at this year's in-person Go Tour event. And then also starting in the global tour, trainers will be able to earn them by defeating Black Kyurem and White Kyurem in raids. So if you're at the Go Tour and stuff, you'll get it nice and early. Dude. Wait, so my guess is the Hundo will be based off of the Kyurem, right?
Wait, how's it work with Necrozma again? It's based on the Necrozma.
Yeah, it's based on the Necrozma that you fuse with.
So ready for this. For some reason, I haven't even done that many Kyurem raids, and I have 3 Hundos. 3 Hundos, and this thing has been absolutely useless. I just was like spending my daily pass on and stuff. But like, all right, I have 3 Hundos, right? Obviously, I might have done more after I got all 3 Hundos. As it was like my last Kyurem was a Hundo. Take a guess at how many Kyurem raids I've done or encountered, just in general. If maybe I got it from like a GBL or something.
Okay, now I don't think that the answer
60.
is 3. Let me put it that way.
that was awesome.
I'm gonna go with 60.
The fact that he's mentioned it means that this has to be good. It's got to be some good odds. So I'm gonna like way undercut this. I'm gonna be that guy that's like 1,000, and it's like, oh, it's 100. I'm gonna say 12.
I don't know if you know how math works, but or probability. But I mean, it's not impossible. The probability that's pretty low. Okay, so for clarity as well too, I guess if anyone trades me a Kieran, then that would also add to this total number. But I don't know if I've ever got a Kieran trade to me because like, why would I ask for a Kieran to trade if I have 300 already, right? So I think these are all like ones I actually caught or encountered in GBL. You said 60, you said 12. It's not that low. It's 92. But 92, 392 is actually still quite.
You know what? I was thinking about.
What was your math? Because I actually don't. Were you thinking about lucky?
Steve's like, oh wait, I've done the math wrong again.
It's also really hard.
Yeah. I was thinking about shiny odds. Is what I was thinking of. I wasn't thinking about hundos.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's what I was just like. I don't know, Steve. This it's not impossible, but those odds are like my odds are pretty low to even get 392, but in 12 is crazy.
Let's put it this way: I'm glad this wasn't for Kaz's corner points. So
yeah. So I'm good to go. I'm good. Isn't there another form too? Or no. Maybe I'm thinking about the crows.
Wait, one possible problem to rain on your parade.
Yeah.
Does it currently have the move Glaciate, or is that like a new move that's going to be?
You're totally right there, and I don't think. I think maybe one of them does, because I remember I got the first two, the first two during the first year spawn. So those two didn't. No, none of them do. But I'll just spend 2 elite TMs. That's not a big deal.
I was gonna say I know it's in the game, but does it require an elite TM and not just like a regular TM?
Yeah, it's an exclusive move. It's a rare exclusive move. But
dang it.
Knowing my luck, because I'll have to raid these at the events, right? To get the energy. Mm-hmm. Knowing my luck, I might get another 100 at the events with the background, maybe even shiny. You never know.
So will
but I do have to raid them, so
will the Kyrium caught at the event, like presumably they would know Glaciate already?
I would hope so, but I guess there's never we never know.
Yeah. We don't know for sure, but I would hope that that's the case, since it is, like you said, a special, exclusive.
So I think. So my guess is I don't think it says on this page, but my guess is it probably will for the in-person events, but I wouldn't be surprised for the global event if they don't have Glaciate.
Maybe there's a chance.
There's always the chance ones are weird too. Yeah, I mean, but at least like I like this better than the origin form of Dialga and Palkia, because those you couldn't even TM the move on, so that's kind of annoying. These at least aren't that big of a deal. But,
there's no indicator, like even though it is getting this like special move, like access to this special move, like there's no indicator that it does have some kind of effect like Palkia and Dialga origin forms. Mm-hmm. Or what was the other one? The Necrozma has special moves that do something, right?
The fused ones have got like the
but you get the move when you
but you get the move when you fuse it. Okay.
Yeah, Sunseer Strike and Moongeist Beam.
Yeah. Yes.
But you don't need any move on the Necrozma prior.
Yeah. Okay.
We get like another Meloetta. I think we talked about this before. I can't remember, but
shiny Meloetta.
Yeah, shiny Meloetta. But the big one honestly is just the big bonus is really just the black and white Kyurem, I think, that hasn't been announced before. Again, I kind of wish they just announced it when they announced the events. I feel like more people would have bought tickets to go, but some people might buy some last minute tickets now. I just wish they announced it. Like, I don't know, why hold back, right? That was the plan originally. Maybe the people making the graphic weren't ready. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, but maybe they do like to see how this affects their like ticket sales or something.
I get you, right? Like I get like what they might be going for, but it just feels a little bad for people because like if you're not local to it, no matter what, the price of tickets and hotels and accommodations have definitely gone up since the initial announcement of the event, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know, it's just something I wish that this is not just on Niantic, right? Like so I think like when the delay on announcing when like the big Pokemon tournaments were for play Pokemon as well. Like that also, I wish I did get info early, which I really appreciate why they gave us the next 2 location worlds already, so we don't have to like constantly second guess that, right? You can just plan really far ahead. So
yeah, so just as a reminder, the in-person events in Los Angeles and New Taipei City, Taiwan, are taking place February 21st through the 23rd. So a little over a month away from those now. And then the global event is March 1st through the 2nd. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, so exciting stuff. That being said, that's it for our events. We'll talk about the
actually
next week.
There were a few extra things in there, like a shiny Dealing is debuting.
Shiny what?
Oh,
Dealing, the one with the 4 seasons.
Oh, we already knew that from the initial announcement. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the rest of this isn't new. It is in the What's New category. The What's New category also says, get excited for more shiny Pokemon debuts. For lucky trainers, shiny Maractus, shiny Sigilyph, and shiny Buffalant will be available.
I feel like
shiny Maractus is new for sure. I don't remember if we talked about this in the past or not, though. But
I feel like they already announced that with the last one, because well, maybe they didn't announce it in the last one, but we kind of assumed it when we initially talked about it, because that is kind of the trend for these regional tour events, is for them to kind of like have all the shiny debuts for the regionals, and for their kind of featured Pokemon, which in this case is Deerling.
It just might be them confirming it, I guess, is all. Yeah. But anyway, it was there.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So that being said, let's head down to GBL because we don't have any Kaz's Corn this week.
No, we're gonna skip it so that Tristan has a fair chance of keeping his lead.
He's at 7 points. Even if me and Steve won this week, we wouldn't catch up to him. So like, part of me's like, if you really want to, but that's just me though, because I'm always here. We gotta be. So I never.
Kaz's Corner is a place of justice and fair play.
Look, it was skipped when I wasn't here, so I can't complain. I'm riding these coattails.
Yeah, I'm okay with skipping it too. I'm just messing. So we have a Color Cup that's already started since the time recording yesterday. And that cup honestly feels a little RPS, not going to lie. But
it is.
I've been having fun with it.
Yeah, I found a good team from one of the graphic where I've only had positive sets so far.
What's the team?
Get me out of the hole.
What's the team?
I'm not telling you.
It's not a graphic. Come on.
Figure out which one.
Fine,
it's actually it's one of the all water teams. I think it's Quagsire lead, Golisopod, Safe Swap, and Toxapex in the back.
That does seem pretty strong.
It's nice. It's been fun so far. I've been enjoying it. I think it only struggles.
That gives my team a little bit of trouble, I think.
I think it only really struggles the most if there's like a Kingdra out there. That kind of sucks.
I can see that. I've been running more Petco, Shadow Shiftry, and Shadow Jumpluff.
Ooh.
Dude, a little throwback to my Shadow Shiftry, my Shiftry Safe Swap days. Double grass as well.
Your grass? Yeah, I was gonna say your grass hole days.
Don't call it grass hole, okay? Whoever said that are just like dumb. All right, like that was never what grass hole was, Dude, I remember I faced well, he used to go by Whiskey TJ, now it's just Alejandro. But I remember I faced him once. He said GG's and he's like, GG's like, I was like, surprised you're using Charm Hole or something. I was like, huh? I was like, I wasn't. I used the Bastion for sure, but it was a Powder Snow Lone Ninetales. Like, where's the Charm Hole? Like, it was a Bastion, a Lone Ninetales, and some other charge tag pressure thing. I was like, where did you get that confused? You literally beat me, and you just saw the team like 2 minutes ago. Like, where's the Charm Hole at? Just because it's the same Pokemon doesn't mean I use the same strats, right? Anyway, just because they're grass types doesn't mean they're grass hole. Anyway, nothing against Whiskey TJ. I just thought it was funny when he posted that.
Just had to tease you a bit.
Anyway, I safe swapped the Shiftry, so I'm sure you probably come in Toxapex, right?
Yeah.
And then
because Toxapex can handle the grass moves better than the Golisopod 100%.
Can. Yeah, and the Shiftry's resisting the Shadow Claw, right? So
yeah, exactly.
So I'm just imagining if I were to face you, what I do, because I think the jump up's really strong in the back. But yeah, because it has great play against the Glisspot and the Quagsire. So, but the Morpeko is like pretty much useless at that point. So it just kind of varies. But what's everyone's elo at, by the way? So I hit Bedrin last Tuesday.
Okay.
I have a screenshot of that. So I might be under 2,500 now, but I'm just saying I hit it already, right? I got whatever.
I was starting to feel like I was getting close, like I was in the 2,300s, but then like Open Great League just destroyed me.
It's been hard this season. I haven't.
So the Color Cup has helped me come back up a little. I'm in the 2,200s now. So
okay, Steve, what you at?
I was at 2250 last week, but then I ran this team from this content creator, Caleb Peng.
No shot.
I sunk a little.
Did you actually run the team I posted?
I actually did run the team, but yeah.
Did it not work out?
I had two pretty solid sets, but then combination of mistakes, hard counters, game lagging out, it all just went wrong. So I'm in no costumers. I mean, at this low in elo, I think we're safe.
That's the best part. Yeah, me too. I'm just like, dude, I was talking to someone the other day during my stream. I was like, dude, honestly, the best part about like being so behind this season is that I haven't had anyone with the exploit. I'm just like watching the madness happen unfold.
No, my losses are all my fault.
Yeah, this is homegrown, baby.
Well, no, there's some other stuff, right, where I'll lose turns and stuff like that. But that just like kind of evens out with everyone. But
yeah, that's true. But
we'll talk more about the costume thing. So
I think I'm at 2150 at the moment or something. So
do you have a costume to Dene, Kaz?
I have exactly one.
Okay. So the good part is at least like out of the two people that could have even done this, they're still in the race, whereas I'm in the clear.
Yeah, he saved himself from having to steal one from someone else.
Just as a reminder too, for this legend bet or like elo bets, I had to hit 3K. Kaz had hit 2,600. Steve has his 2,500. And Loser has to wear a Pokemon onesie to a live event, the biggest event that they're attending as like a player, probably.
Yeah.
So,
which by the way, maybe the numbers sort of check out at the moment, because I mean, Kaz is sort of holding that 100-point lead on me. Caleb's
dude, I'm actually the furthest away in terms of points though. So
but I mean the order. I think what he's saying is like the order is still kind of like.
Oh yeah. But I definitely had to put in a little bit more work, I think, to make up some of the difference I'm behind on. So we'll see. Dude, I haven't.
And is it the first? Expert. Is it like the loser is like the last person to hit their projected score?
Yeah. So I guess if you get second, nothing happens. I don't remember if we said like winner gets to choose the onesie they wear. Maybe that was the thing. But
I think
yeah, it kind of depends on what's available.
Yeah,
I think, on the Pokemon site.
Yeah,
we wanted it to be official.
It's gotta be official, right? Yeah, otherwise you can't wear it on stream, right? So
it's
true. There was a message. Melgood sent a message that was like, "Oh, there's this set of official onesies that aren't on the Pokemon Center website potentially." Yeah, it was some other. Which. Because the point was just that it was Pokemon official, so we can look at it when we get there. But
I think shout out to Melvin.
We've got options.
We'll take a gander. I mean, my thought was probably like whoever wins it will probably like they probably would just like talk to the other people as well and see like what makes sense, Because we want to be funny for everyone, right?
Exactly.
So like, if I win it, I'm definitely gonna ask for some recommendations too in case I forgot. I was like, wait, they got a Trubbish costume too. I couldn't even realize that.
I told you, like if I lose, my dream is that there's a Psyduck one available.
There is a Psyduck. The Psyduck is available. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if I lose, I'm fine.
No one's going to fulfill your dreams, though. Well, you still might be. You might be thinking Psyduck, and next thing you know, you're sitting on there looking like a slowpoke.
That's what you said. You were like, I would wear a hot pink like slowpoke.
I think it honestly, it probably looks like it probably stands out by far the most. It might look the worst too, but like at that point, you might as well just go all. It's just like Anacore, right? Like you might as well just go all out and just look as ridiculous as possible.
I just like I haven't looked at what the Psyduck one looks like, but I'm imagining like I hope there's like a big plastic bill.
No, I think it's all like soft.
Dang
it! Yeah. Maybe you could put add a bill on top. I don't know.
It's true. Make one out of cardboard.
Yeah.
We know you've got some
yellow
costume
visors.
scraps.
It's true. After you guys wore your costumes, I shared the photos of like ones I had made in the past, and you were like,
"Oh yeah."
Holy
Also,
smokers, dude.
unrelated to that, but it did remind me is we have ourselves the results of the cookie contest too.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
And Kaz did take a resounding first place. Twastell had his exclusive Pokemon cookie cutters, but that wasn't enough to carry him.
That's true. I was like, do people know that he had an official cookie cutter though?
Probably not until they heard the episode, but
Yeah.
because I didn't know
did I come third?
I saw.
Was I close?
You did not come third.
Oh.
You did not come third. So here are the results here. Kaz only narrowly beat Tiwasashi. 35.6% of the votes.
Yeah, I think I got it was 16 votes or something like that.
Yeah, Tristan had 31.1%. I had 22.2%. And Steve had only half of mine at 11.1%. So, I wasn't necessarily that close to second place. I was there, but Steve wasn't really close to any place besides last place.
Steve, I will tell you that Jen messaged me. She was like, "That's actually a really good idea to put the weeping bell on the bell."
No,
so
honestly,
bonus points.
Yeah,
bonus points from Jen.
When you told me it was a bell cookie, I honestly was like, "That's actually pretty clever." I'll give you that.
That's nice. That's nice.
I thought the fungus from above would have been clever, would have gotten it looks like, I feel like it looks pretty clean, right? The selling of it.
People knew you were not doing a fungus though, Caleb. They knew you were just doing the Pokeball.
Look, sometimes when you don't have the artistic talent, you need to be creative with how you sell your products, And that was me. That was how I sold it.
Again, I think it's a great idea, personally. I was like, that is hilarious. I'm on board. But
anyway, so that's going to be GBL. We'll talk more about the exploit stuff too when we get to the T topic. But let's skip over Professor Tristan because he's not here. So so class is not in session today. We championship series, I think we skip too because nothing going on there. Grassroots stuff, Steve.
I didn't put this in the docket, but I'll happily plug it. So this weekend on Saturday, January 11th, I'm hosting a Who is the Goat tournament with Wadaj versus It's Axon versus Dunebug versus Marto Galde as sort of who is the greatest Pokemon Go player of all time. And, just a classic, put them all in like action figures head to head, smash it up, see what happens. So
is it round robin style?
Yeah, round robin style. So they'll all play each other.
There's
1
a
p.m.
chance for a tie, right?
There is a chance for a tie. And if we go to a tie, then we go, best of one, re-tie break to, go to Armageddon. But because we can't have a, undecisive who is the greatest of all time.
Well, no, I know. I was just saying best of one's wild. I was surprised it was going to be like another best of five,
No. Keep that thing going. But I posted up their teams the other day, and Axon, Wadaj, Marto, they're all pretty stock standard. There's some good Pokemon in there. Dunebug is coming out there with the Starmie pick still. He's going all in on Starmie.
He's a true believer.
Yeah, it seems like it. But hey, if it works for him, it works for him. So he got what was it, top 16 or top 8 in with Starmie?
Top 16.
Top 16.
Yeah.
In Toronto.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Honestly, it didn't even look too bad, but he happened to face Valor Ash in the winners finals, and Valor Ash had a Greninja, which was such a big core break for Dunebug's team because there was something. I mean, he had the Pangoro, which is fine but I think there was the Greninja definitely core broke him in some ways that obviously it's just something you don't want to see as a Starmie user, right? So had that been like a Malamar even that probably would have been much better than the Starmie, right? As another Sidewave user, but Dunebug's team building. I mean, he's always been pretty bold with his team building too, which I appreciate because it's good to innovate. Obviously, some people are just really good meta stuff, but he's proven that he could play meta and non-meta and be really good. So should be a cool event. We'll see.
I mean, remember when he won with Pidgeot?
Dude, it wasn't even that too. It was Pidgeot. It was triple shadow too. I think it was quadruple shadow or something like that. I think it was at least triple, maybe quadruple. It was something wild. Because I commentated that tournament. I was like, dude, there's no way. He just comes off EUIC second place. He runs a completely stupid team, in my opinion, and just dominates with it. Just straight up dominates people. You know? And I'm just what is happening? I think also to be fair. No hate on his opponents, but it wasn't the most stacked tournament of all time by any means. You know, like he will probably never be able to pull that off at like Worlds or at that international. You know, but I think for Orlando, and there was good players there for sure, but he was able to get away with a little bit more. I think, you know, so. Because you kind of have to when you have that little bowl, you can't really make many mistakes. You know?
Yeah, you gotta be on top of it.
You do. Okay, let's head down to the tea topic because we have two things to discuss here.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, as many of you know, during the holiday season or particularly around New Year's, this player named Jukabuka started climbing the leaderboard and was the first to legend in GBL this season. Give it up.
Congrats.
But
thank God they're not a co-host on this podcast because we all be if you ever want to be a guest sometime, let me know, Juka. Actually, no, in seriousness, if they really want to, just shoot me a message, and if you could prove that you actually Jukabuka, I think it'd be interesting. I don't support what they did, and they might get heavily sanctioned or just straight up banned afterwards. So
yeah,
they might not even be a Pokemon Go guest anymore. They're just a regular person that used to play Pokemon Go. But
didn't they actually like show up in Axon's chat like during his stream after?
Did they?
I heard that, but I didn't pop in. So
I didn't pop in because I heard about it too late. Like I saw the messages later.
I'm surprised there wasn't a clip of it if that happened. But Axon definitely did queue up into Jukabuka during his stream, and we saw like his game crash and stuff like in real time.
Yeah.
Anyway, what it is, if you don't know what's going on there, essentially, I think Jukabuka was the first person to use this, and the other people figured out ways around it. But essentially, you use a combination of costumes, outfits. And when you do, your opponent, when they match up against you in GBL, they can't see your avatar at all. So they don't even know. You're just like an invisible figure, which sometimes happens anyway when you play GBL. Yeah. But the different part of this is your game crashes automatically. And it's not for both, just for you. So the person that's wearing these costumes ends up winning. And if you're winning every single battle, every single day, you're probably going to be the first to legend. And that's exactly what Jukabuka did. And then I think eventually Jukabuka took off the costume and started battling for real and just kept losing. Because they're not actually that good, right? I think if it's someone that good to hit legend first and be, you know, in the season, we probably would have known about them by now. Actually, I'm curious. We can look at Dracoviz and see if they have any data here. Funny enough, if Dracoviz doesn't selectively edit anything, they should have a first place in GBL medal.
Oh, he doesn't.
He doesn't? Oh, they must have went in. They must have went in and did something. Okay, so previously they've played GBL before. Let's see. Their peak in season 17 was 50.
Yeah, 32. So yeah, okay. So they're legitimate, like, you know, and they have some talent on their side.
Yeah. They've been, and then in season 14 they were 33-44, which again, what an idiot to do this on your main account and then just to risk getting yourself banned. And you know, some people are like, I don't think Niantic is going to do anything. They didn't do anything about like the mega exploiters and stuff like that, and the primal exploiters, blah blah blah. Like, maybe, I don't know. I don't work for Niantic. I legitimately don't know. But my guess is they'll probably get a sanction at the very minimum, and they might get straight up banned. Why? Because what the heck happened to Jesus G? If you're around back in 2020 or 2021, I think it was 2020. There's this one guy called Jesus G. His exploit wasn't as like you definitely win, but he pretty much won because essentially what he would do is he was getting fast attacks through while charge attack animation was going off. So he was playing like a notorious Melmetal Razor Leaf Leafeon line. And essentially, this Melmetal was throwing a move at you every second. And you're like, how is this possible? And what's happening is they're getting Thunder Shocks constantly through during the charge attack animation, all that stuff. So they're literally always at 100 energy. It's just unbeatable no matter what you face. And then I think the furthest anyone ever got against Jesus G was they saw the Leafeon, Razor Leaf Leafeon. That's when you really realized the damage was still coming through because you would throw a charge attack, you're at like 80% health, and the moment you're done with it, you're like all of a sudden at 70% health. You're like, what the heck happened? Like nothing even happened besides me throwing my charge attack animation or me throwing up a shield. So I think that person got straight up banned because we haven't heard about them ever since. But again, what's the point? Just for some overnight fame, and just a bunch of people disliking you, right? Like, I don't think there's that many people that worship Jukabuka. But also the thing is, I saw that I think some people were friends with Jukabuka and had like a screenshot of their avatar in the game, and they named their buddy Niantic Fix Your Game or something, right? And I think like I think some people actually talked to this person or whatever, but I heard claims that they did it because they're like trying to point out how bugged the game is. Don't try to rationalize it after the fact, right? That is even stupider than doing this on your main account. You know why? Because if you truly cared about the game and you want to fix these bugs, you want to point out the bugs, you would reach out to a partner content creator, right? Or attempt to, right? Because maybe you don't know who the partner content creators are. You at least message some people. Because there's times where I get DMs from people like, hey, like my friend got their account hacked. Do you know anyone on Niantic, right? And like I unfortunately don't have the power to do all that stuff, but I do know some people that work at Niantic, right? I do have some of their contacts, and I'm not even like a partner creator, but there's other people that actually are partner creators too that also have Niantic contacts. You literally could just message these people instead of exploiting it and utilizing it for your own gain to be the first legend, and send it to us, and then we could have passed it on to Niantic so they could address it without other people finding out. It was like back when GBL first came out and they had the airplane mode bug, which is not a thing anymore, and you're able to freeze out your opponent's account and everything, gameplay. And I believe Alfindial, who is a partner content creator, is got reports of it too, and obviously some people are still abusing it, but he reported right away to Niantic. They patched it, and that's how it should be, right? Instead, people had to figure out what the costume combination was to figure out how to patch it and all this stuff, right? People did some research and stuff to try to figure it out. But yeah, so don't say that's why, Just say it, just own it, right? If you want to be selfish and say you want the first legend, you want the pose, you want some, fame and stuff because you got nothing else better going on in your life, fine, right? Whatever it is, right? Whatever the real reason is, just say it. It's fine. If you want to be on the podcast, fine. I'd happily have you on and ask you questions, right? And if you go berserk and say all these weird stuff, I'll just probably delete it and no one even know you're on here. So you just waste your own time again. Anyway, that being said, very stupid idea, but actually what I'm really curious about is for anyone that actually is friends with Jukabuka in game, if anyone is or anyone knows is, what I'm really curious is if their account is still around in a month from now or so, a month or two. Because if they got straight up banned, I don't think the account would still be in the system anymore. That's my guess. I'm not sure though how it works.
Yeah, I don't know actually.
I'm not sure
because I'm not really friends with anyone that's gotten banned.
Yeah, well, people get like, I shouldn't have been banned, but I accidentally got banned or whatever. And then
yeah. Like, or like temporary, like 1 month bans and stuff. Perma ban's a whole different situation. And again, I don't know like if that would be the case or not. I mean,
I guess you can check if like their catches go up or anything. Like you can sort of be like, oh, have they played the game at all? I guess.
That's true. That's what I used to do with Vacation to see how much he actually catches. Because I just catches his GBL encounters on most days. Maybe not these days, but yeah, it's funny. But anyway, nothing against Rise. I just always thought it's funny. I've told him that too. Okay, so anyway, so that's pretty much the bug, and then a bunch of other people started abusing it as well. Some notorious ones. I remember some names, but I'm not even.
And to me, that's like the bigger issue too. Like you were saying. Like, don't try and pass it off as some sort of like altruistic act, right?
Yeah, you're not.
Because the other side of that is like the minute that there's some sort of exploit, there will be other people who are also doing that exploit. Yeah. So like, no matter what your intentions are, they don't matter if there's some way for people to like, cause trouble in the game. Like people will take advantage of that if they can. So, yeah. It's just all around. Like, just don't be a jerk. Like, please.
Look, and you can, and just at the end of the day, like sure, people like Axon, or Dilap, or people that are really high up on the leaderboard end up losing to you, but that's just one loss to them. You're meanwhile just losing your straight up account that you've spent years playing for what, just to prove a point. Like it's just a very like poorly thought out plan in my opinion. Like if you're gonna do this, do it on like an alt account or something. But not that you should do that either. But it's just it's just stupid. But hey, do you honestly have at it. If you know how to do it and you want to do that, be my guest. You're just speed running your own ban, and that's fine with me.
You're speed running your own demise.
Exactly. I was streaming and I was telling people too. I was like, look, even if you know the combination, it really is not worth it. Like if you're really done with this game and tired of it, and you just want to like have like one last hurrah, okay, fine. But like like I get not everyone may be satisfied with the game at times, and us included. But like if you're really trying to like set your account ablaze on fire, then like I don't know what like what did you? I don't know what you think is going to happen here, but so yeah, and there's obviously a bunch of copycats. I won't name them as well because they're even less original than the original guy. And they'll probably get their accounts banned too. So yeah.
In saying that, is it worth getting my account banned to not have to wear a onesie at our?
No, because the onesie is fun.
Man's going to be just spectating events in the future because he doesn't have an account to play on. Next time he's in Brazil, he'll be like, take my phone, I don't need it.
All yours, buddy.
I'm done with this.
Anyone got GBL footage you can send me? I can't play myself, so I need to make videos
for the content.
I'll send you some from China for my 2-3 sets. Yeah, so that was pretty much that. I have a bunch of things bookmarked. I'm not sure if any of that was relevant. I don't think so. I have this. It said they were friends with this person. It said fix your bugs was the name of the Pokemon. It was a best buddy Caterpie and had legend pose. They've done 35,000 battles and have walked 11,000 kilometers. I don't see the total catches on the screen, so who knows how many that is. But again, this is not like a fresh account, so
yeah.
What a dummy. It screams frontal lobe not fully developed yet, but that's just me. Anyway, and then the other piece of news is from this most recent community day. There was a new type of community day tickets. They also, I don't think, had a community day box anymore, so you can even buy like Elite TM.
Okay, that was an accident.
Really?
They've come out. Okay. Yeah, they've come out and said like, "Whoopsies, it'll be available." Like I think they said in the lead up to Ho-Oh Raid Day, perhaps.
Okay. So
that was just
that's just free money to them. So I don't know why they wouldn't do that, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then they changed the ticket for the community day, and I noticed this too because shout out to one of my patrons and supporters, Ina, for always buying me tickets for these events. But yeah, so I got a ticket and they changed it. So the old ticket was, I think, $1, and the new ticket's $2 USD roughly. And instead of like 5 pages, like on the old ticket, it's now 2 pages. There's a bunch of differences, but the main difference, I'll break it down, right? So you're paying double the price, which is not a ton of money, but it's still a little bit more. The main gains for a new ticket is additional 5,500 XP, 1 premium raid pass, 1 single rare candy XL, 1 single charge TM, 5 candy XL, which I guess is probably XL Sprigatito candy, if I were to guess.
Yeah.
3 times encounters with feature Pokemon with a special background. And the research are only 2 pages long. The tasks are not tailored towards catching a particular Pokemon. So I think it's a little bit easier because if you don't finish on Sprigatito community day, you can still like finish it easily instead of wait till the next time Sprigatito are in the wild.
Yeah.
But here's what you lose. You lose 80 candy. Not that big of a deal, in my opinion. 15 times of each Pokeball type. Also not that big of opinion. Big issue. 2 silver pineapple berries, 10 pineapple berries, which also not that crazy. You lose 3 encounters with the feature Pokemon, which again, that's just like 1 extra Sprigatito research encounter. I don't think that's too crazy. And the research tasks are more tedious to complete if you want to finish everything in a small window. I think that's the thing that a lot of people had issues with, because there's one part where you had to walk 3 kilometers. And that's honestly, even though it's triple dust, I didn't really want to play the whole time. So that's actually what I did. Once I finished the 3 kilometers, I just went home. I was just like, I just want to get this done with. But the good news is you can always do this like after the fact, right? You don't again, it's just catch Pokemon, so you don't have to finish it on to do that. That being said, a lot of people I feel like were upset about it.
Yeah, a lot of people had a big issue with that, like
3 kilometers,
the walk the 3 kilometers as like the first page, because a lot of people do when they acquire this research, set out to complete it within the actual community day. And that kind of adds like an extra layer of difficulty, especially I know that this time of year in a lot of parts of the world, like the weather is inclement, right? Like, and that can cause a detriment for people to get out and about, let alone like, the sort of base level accessibility concerns of having that be like page one, hey, walk 3 kilometers. So yeah, a lot of people took up issue with that. I also saw people complaining about like the lower access to the Sprigatito encounters or the evolved encounters, like also means you have potentially less chances for the hundo if that's something you like to grind for.
Yeah.
The evolved encounters didn't go down. You still get those ones. Yeah, that was just literally the only encounter decrease was you got 3 fewer Sprigatito. And that was that was the first tweet I saw from Joe Merrick. He was like, he was like, it's the first thing I saw. He tweeted, they adjusted the special research. They doubled the price and adjusted the structure. Now there's a walk 3 kilometer task as well as a few more items. But previously, you'd get 6 encounters of the base Pokemon plus 2 Evos. Now you just get 3 encounters of the base. Not cool, Niantic. And I was like,
I actually don't think this is that big of a deal.
Yeah, that's what I was like, but, do we really care?
I mean, it's not. I mean, it just depends on your play style. You have to think about like the people who really are like grinding out these research tasks every time. Like they've got an idea of like how long it's going to take them and what exactly they'll get out of it, And so those are the people who I think are legitimately most upset.
Yeah.
People who are gifted this research or maybe just sort of casually buy it for a community day that they feel like, more attached to. They're maybe care a little bit, but not as much. Like as with many things, there's kind of a sliding scale, right? Like of how much people were affected by this and how upset that made them. But I do think that this piles on to kind of the complaints that people have been having a lot more of this year with events in this game, sort of things starting to cost a little bit more, but you feel like you're getting slightly less. Or the fact that it does seem like lately a lot of things have been more locked behind certain types of tasks than usual, like raids, like routes, that sort of thing. So I think that overall, like, while the changes to the Sprigatito ticket might not have been a lot in and of themselves, it's kind of piling on to the mentality that people have currently with events in this game.
I just feel like it's not a logical perspective for this one in particular, where it's not even like, it's not just, oh man, it's getting more expensive, we're getting less stuff. Like this is just a bad change. Like you're getting more premium items out of this ticket. I think like, straight $1 for $1, item for item, you are actually still getting a good deal out of this $2 ticket if you were ever going to buy it. I never intend to because I'm not interested.
Yeah, same. Like, I never buy these tickets unless it's like a Pokemon that I really care about.
Steve's really like, what a great deal this is. I wouldn't buy it though, but what a great deal this is for you all.
There's so many people out there that, do spend so much money on like raid passes and whatnot. And it's like, you're getting a raid pass, you're getting this, you're getting that. And for people that do buy boxes and boxes to get incubators and raid passes and lucky eggs and whatnot else, like it is like straight value wise, it is a value deal. It's not like, it's not a bad proposition. It's just different. And I think it's really just the fact that the number went up that is causing the which like, I get when you're spending $1 a month, it's one thing, $2 a month is another, but still
double the price.
Like if you're going to spend the money in game to get this stuff, I mean,
dude, part of it is just like probably inflation stuff and these get more expensive and maybe Niantic running a little bit lower on their funds. I'm not really sure. Again,
but I mean, Steve, I'm with you. It's like if I never buy the ticket, I'll never be disappointed.
Yeah. I think honestly, I think if Niantic were to increase the price, I get why they would change the research layout as well, because otherwise, how do you justify the new increase in price, right? With I think honestly, like looking at the things that were taken away and stuff, why you could just give back the 80 candy, the 15 Pokeball, the pineapple berries, the encounter. That's it. Like these things are like worth nothing anyway. Just do that so that people have nothing to tweet about. Like I agree with Steve. Like I don't think this is that big of a deal, but some people do. If you legit just improved everything, and sure you added a 3-kilometer walking thing, whatever. I don't think people care. You literally could complete it at any time, right? You don't have to wait for Pikachu to spawn.
Yeah.
Just like people literally don't have much to complain about other than the fact that they don't want to walk 3 kilometers.
If the only change had been the 3-kilometer thing and literally nothing else had changed, I guarantee you the reaction would not have been this strong.
Well, I think some people will find a way to complain about it for sure, but I think there'll be more people like they have even less ground to stand on,
Yeah.
This is nothing against Joe Merrick and anyone that does feel a little slighted about it. I get it. But I don't think it's that big of a factor, honestly. It is something that a lot of people are chatting about. And honestly, I thought it was pretty bad at first when I first saw people complain about it. But I looked at it, I was just like, I ain't short 80 candy on Sprigatito. Like I got tons of pineapple berries too. I mean, understandably I live on a bunch of Pokestops, but it's just it's not that big a deal, I think. But
well, I went down the same pipeline in terms of I saw all the negative tweets and I was like, oh, it must be bad. And then I went and looked at it for myself and I was like, guys, what are we doing here? What are you talking about? This is fine. I'm not with you on this one.
Why are we doing this to ourselves?
Niantic makes a lot of boo-boos. They make a lot of really poor decisions that we all disagree with. And there's a lot of things that you can fight them about. But this just does not feel like it.
Yeah.
Pick your battles. I don't know.
Yeah. Just anyway.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm not here to tell people how they should feel about it. If they feel slighted, they feel slighted. It's I don't think it's too bad, all things considered, out of Niantic's decisions.
Out of all of their decisions? No.
I wouldn't rank that high on the chart of things that I think are issue. Anyway, let's head over to the YouTube comments as we wrap this up. And so starting off with our holiday episode.
The cookies?
The cookies, yeah. Did we miss one from before? I think there was only one comment from the one before that. I'm not sure if I covered it or not the holiday episode.
I don't think so.
There's Sebastian were low on time.
There was
Oh, actually, we didn't talk about that comment.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, from the Bastian Wilmer cosplay episode, June Ho maybe. Sorry, I'm not sure because there's a bunch of zeros and O's. When you guys discuss why the holiday event part 2 is black and white, it's most likely because it's ramping up to Unovator, which was through black and white version in the main series game. That does make a lot of sense.
Look, yeah. And
I said this also during the holidays though, so I don't know. It's like I think I could definitely see that. I just don't know if that's
it's like I can see I can see the train of thought, but it just I think it just confused people as to why that was Christmas integrated. Integrated as a holiday event. It's like that could have been its own event.
Mm-hmm.
Why kind of try to hide it under the holiday label without any conteest.
Well, the problem is we don't even know. It still might not be.
It definitely was.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
Sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, because when you looked at the collection challenges, they were literally labeled black collection challenge, white collection challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those things that I feel like it's deviated too far from the original idea. Here's how I imagine it, right? Niantic listeners, if you're listening, let me know if I'm right. So, John Hankey or maybe someone in leadership leading the meeting, all right, so everyone, what's the plan for holidays this year? What should we do to spawn time? I'm like, we've done a lot of ice spawns in the past. Yeah, you're right. Well, maybe we could switch it up a little bit. Are there new ice Pokemon? Maybe, but Satato and stuff, not too much. Yeah, not too much. And be like, well, what's coming around the corner? Maybe there's something. Well, there's that rocket event. This is a Shadow Ho-Oh, Fashion Week. Oh wait, a big one that's coming up. Unova Tour 2 months from now. Like, oh, that's right. A lot of black and white Pokemon. Yeah. What if we do a black and white theme? Because ice can be like white, and there's black ice too,
Listen,
right? So it's like also a
listen.
lot during the holidays.
Listen, I tried.
And that's how I feel like that's how it got to, right? They just went from like one point to another because I know how tangents work, right? And I understand.
I tried to justify it as like maybe it's like a sort of solstice idea, right? Like the dark half of the year, the light half of the year, like black and white.
Yes.
Like that's how you could tie it in. But they didn't do that, did they? They just sort of like shove it in.
Yeah, and as you said, they did just lean into it being black and white in the collection challenge names. So, and again, it's the Dual Destiny season. The whole logo is black and white. It's the entire 3 months. But yeah, it's just a weird one to call it the holiday event part 2.
So there's that. We'll see. I don't know. This kind of reminds me of one of our. It was a local mine in Atlanta. I don't know if she still plays or not, but her username was Eldercat. And I was like, oh, like where does that username come from? Like, I was like, I like cats too. I was like, where's that username come from? She's like, oh, so like I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and you know how there's like Elder Wand in Harry Potter, so I wanted to like be the Elder Wand, but it was taken. And but I also love cats, so instead of Elder Wand, I'm Elder Cat. So it was a Harry Potter reference. And I was like, girl, I get you, but I feel like the reference is too far removed for people to understand that by looking at your username. That's how I feel the black and white, Christmas event was, the holiday event was.
Yeah. Elder Cat moment.
Yeah, Elder Cat moment. Dude, maybe that could be our merch as to represent like the merch idea. We'll work on a merch for sure. I know I've been saying that for like over like a couple years.
I will say
Elder Cat would be kind of funny.
Since I had some time over the holidays, I have started playing around with ideas for.
Okay. Yo, we're Battle Cats. Elder Cat could be like a funny reference to the show. And then what if it's just a Battle Cat, but like logo maybe, or like the Meowth, but looking really old.
Meowth with a cane.
Yeah, and then maybe like a bunch of little tangents references in the shirt too, because it's kind of represents how far you go from the original idea. Anyway, we'll think about it. Okay, so from our last episode the special holiday episode, Jen left a few comments saying,
"Oh my gosh,
watching at 3 minutes 46 seconds, I know Kaz wins." See, Jen, I mean, not to say like I think that's a bad take or anything, but the bolder take would say like I know Josh wins, because if he won that, that's crazy to call that. Like, to call that Kaz to win arts and artsy stuff as also like our resident artist and Pokemonologist, right? Like that's you have to.
It's not a hard call.
That's
yeah. That's like
the easy way out.
Yeah. That's like a hard read. Like you go into a tournament, and be like, I bet Azumo's going to be good in this tournament. That's a hard read. No,
but as always, thank you for believing in me, Jen.
Well, and I can't hate on this too much, Jen, because you were right. So like, I can only say so much. She also says hi, Joe, at the 9-minute mark. Because I think Joe made an appearance.
Yeah, he did. He came in.
And then also saying, commenting when I talk about the fungus thing. Fungus from above is big brain. Love it. I love it.
She's right.
But the real question, Jen, is: was it big brain enough to swing your votes? Probably not.
She doesn't have an X account, so I'm pretty sure she was not in the voting pool.
Okay, look, I think we know where she's going to be voting.
Honestly, that was probably just one vote that you should have got that you didn't get. So maybe that's not. That's not the end of the world.
I don't know. She said Steve had a good idea. Maybe she believed in it enough.
I sent the poll to my friend as well, because I took a picture of my cookies and I sent it to her. And I was like, and she's like, "Oh, that's pretty good." I was like, "Okay, cool." And she has an X account, so I sent her the poll. I was like, "I need your help now, right?" Dude, I checked X like a few days ago. Still hasn't even read my message yet.
Left you on red. How dare?
Not even left me on unread. Didn't even see the message. Doesn't even have a chance to vote. Yeah. Maybe I should have texted her and be like, "Hey, I need you to open your X account for once." But that's fine. That was the only person I did too. I was trying to like really whip up votes or anything, but it was just like she already liked this. I was like, "Oh, like
Give me your login info.
Yeah. Raphael says, do you guys think they'll ever unban Smeargle in Little Cup? Is it worth building right now for the possibility of being unbanned? Great question. So my recommendation is just keep trading Smeargle, right? Or keep trying to catch Smeargle to get that hundo. And lock on Flying Press is really good, but I think lock on Technoblast Electric is really good too, because for open Little Cup, that's really solid. You're still neutral into Bronzor, but you're super effective against Volibee and Manabuzz. You're super effective against Meryl, which is pretty big. But lock on Flying Press against Meryl is surprisingly actually still pretty strong, which is crazy because of how good of a move it is and how bulky Smeargle is. You're better into Annihilate, which also made quite a bit of appearances in the last
that's true.
Cup, because most of you are running Tackle Bronzor, right? And you have super effective moves for it. And like you're not bad into Shuckle. So, but with Technoblast Electric, dude, you're gonna be probably winning the matchup versus Annihilate too, which is kind of crazy. I was almost able to beat Annihilate with Flying Press. That's how crazy it is. Double resist Flying Press with Smeargle into Annihilate. I was able to almost win it. So those are my two recommendations. Get the Flying Press one and get the Technoblast Electric one. My guess is it'll probably be available because it's been in past Little Cups before.
Yeah.
I made a whole video on it because I prepped the whole season.
It's been available before.
It's been available before, but so I think just keep trading for it, but I wouldn't recommend powering it up because if it's like a little catch cup, then you just can't use it. If you caught it like in the previous season.
Good to have, but maybe don't invest.
Yeah. But catch your daily ones and then have them so you could trade with you for XLs to get more XLs, right?
Yeah. Well, the two extra points on that. One is like don't power it up yet because they can also like nerf and buff the moves. So all of a sudden,
or leave it banned. Leave it banned, right? Yeah.
Or leave it banned. And by the time it's eligible, then some other you should like in the last little holiday cup. The PV Poker recommended moveset when we didn't know it was banned because Niantic didn't say it was banned and still never updated it that it was banned ever. The recommended moveset was Incinerate instead of Lock On. And like it's not like a Lock On would be bad, but it's like it's not.
I don't know though. I feel like you just lose the head with with Incinerate Flying Press, right? Wouldn't Lock On Flying Press be better? Yeah. So I mean, I know it's recommended by PV Poke, but who knows if it's
still.
Actually
but all that to say, the movesets can change and whatnot. Yeah. So you can also once you have the moveset, the Smeargle of a certain move in your box, when a little catch cup might come around, you can also just snapshot your own Smeargle and just re-roll it for that season as well. So
that's true.
Pretty handy. Just
that's why I do.
Have them.
That's why I do. Yeah. So I have one. And then sometimes getting the right one takes a while. So I was looking for someone with a Technoblast Electric lock on one. And I think Dijon was the one that hooked me up with it, which is nice because I kept trying to get that one. I couldn't, right? But some of these combinations are hard to get, right? So good question though, for sure. I think it's definitely worth just grinding for it. Just like one snapshot a day kind of thing. It's kind of tedious, but I really dedicated to myself one season doing it. And dude, Little Cup was stupid. It was like I was like literally the highest Little Cup person in the entire world. No jokes. I played like 15. I played 15 battles, and I think I played only 4 different people. My queues would literally be over 30 minutes. I'll sit there with my phone open the whole time. It's crazy. Artemis Dragon says, "Hey, BattleCast, Happy New Year! Happy New Year to you as well, Artemis Dragon. Before I forget, Caleb's friend may be right about the rare spawn point theory from episodes of old. Trainerships has a video on it featuring Tom Cruise. Oh, Tom Cruise is an awesome guy, actually. Local mine as well. Who discovered it. Discovered it, quote unquote. So maybe, I don't know if Tom Cruise discovered it or not, but that's what the YouTubers got to say. I too have seen occasional rare spawns in spots where I'm using daily daily incense. Super small sample size since I rarely use one. And then Artemis Dragon also put a timestamp in the YouTube video. So take a look at our holiday episode and look at the comment from Artemis Dragon if anyone's curious. I've got a question for y'all. If for any chance that we actually do see a rebalance to grass moves next season, what should that look like? I've wanted for a while for grass moves to be more snappy and for unique grass types like Cordilli and Ferrothorn to be household names. And while we're at it, fairies can also use some love. I lied. I have one more question. What's the purpose of giving rollout to only Pokemon who share weakness in fighting? Wouldn't it have made more sense to give it to the likes of Donphan and Scolipede as well?
I mean, that's just purely based on who has access to the moves in the main series.
Does Donphan and Scolipede not have it?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure Donphan would have it.
Scolpide's interesting too because it's like a roly-poly bug, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it probably has access to
you
it.
would think so, but I don't know for sure without looking up the Cerebi data. So
I'll Google it.
That's a good
come on,
recommendation,
Steve.
though, Arnold Sargon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe something just Niantic might have not even thought about, but for our Niantic staff listeners, hey, maybe something to throw on the docket for the future. I do think that's kind of interesting. Yeah, because
the rest of this question sounds like it's aimed at Professor Tristan.
yeah. But I do get where Artemis Giant is coming from, because like, oh yeah, great, it's rollout. It's very fantastic fast attack, but in your matchups where you're bad into, you're just walled off, right?
Yeah.
So it just like kind of sucks, right? Where you can only do any meaningful damage with the other moves. Makes, I think what Artemis Dragon is getting at is you can make things a little less RPS if it's not just normal types with it. So I think that's a fantastic point for sure.
Makes sense.
And then relate to the grass moves. I think Credilli is like on the cusp of being good. I wonder if they could give it Power Gem, because Power Gem's just a better move than Rock Slide. I don't know though.
Credilli is like really good in a lot of limited metas.
Yeah,
like I think it's one of the better.
I
think it's one of the better grass types in the Color Cup currently.
Yeah.
And it's again in all the grassroots formats, like in the Devon Cups and in Battle Frontier and stuff. Credilli is often very good in any meta that it is allowed. In the open format, like the rock typing, I think gives it a few too many weaknesses because there are a lot of fighters that are currently very strong.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act.
Definitely.
I feel like I don't know with the grass types,
but I feel like fairies are pretty good right now.
I think fairies are very good
are
right
fine.
now.
I mean, it's mostly just fairy wind and charm. So maybe if you add like a third fast attack, maybe. But I think fairies are in a good spot overall. I mean, even outside of Zero, right? Wigglytuff's an option. In other leagues like Primarina, Galarian Weezing's like good in a lot of limited metas too. Florges is really good in Master League and stuff. But I get it. It's like it feels a little one dimensional because a lot of them will have like only fairy moves, or like it's just fairy wind or charm. So maybe you can have a different turn duration move or something. I don't know. You have 2 turn, 3 turn,
or just more coverage options like on the fairies we have. I think that's one thing that Tristan did talk about before, which I was like, oh yeah, that would be really nice.
Yeah. Well, it's because Clodsire is such a big meta pick at the moment. It really sort of forces you to are you really going to run like a fairy type that has nothing to do up against Clodsire? Like you're sort of just tying a hand behind your back at that point, which is why, Azumarill is such a big Pokemon in the Championship Series. Obviously it's great stats, great coverage, whatever, but also it has some level of play back against Clodsire, just up against the wall, which is sort of, I feel similar about the grass types in the sense that like, it sort of feels like the meta is just a little bit anti-grass at the moment. And so I don't know, like unless you make some crazy OP move, I don't think it's going to make grass types appear all of a sudden. I really think part of it is that there's not enough Pokemon that have good Pokemon that have grass type coverage moves. So like, when Cresselia is running around, it's always running Grass Knot. But all of the sort of neutrally Pokemon that are running around, they're not running around with grass moves because they don't have grass moves. So I feel like it's more about
a lot of things. Yeah, a lot of things got access to Trailblaze, and I think that's like kind of the closest we came to getting a little more diversity in how grass like presents itself in the meta. Because right now you look at like the open like play Pokemon meta, and the only grass types we really keep seeing are Superior and Jumpluff, and that's purely because they have access to like those very fast flying type moves, like flying type move of Aerial Ace, which gives them better coverage against the meta in general, but also allows them to beat other grasses potentially. So I mean, when you look at a grass type, that's pretty much those are the things you are looking for.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe if Professor Tristan is listening to this episode, he can comment on our next one with his thoughts too. So yeah, he's usually pretty good. New co-hosts are pretty good about listening to episodes when they're not on it.
I don't know who you're
not saying anything about anyone else. Funny enough, I was catching up with Anacor today too, and he's doing well, and he's kind of getting a little bit more back into the game, which is cool. So, but yeah, I told him maybe we'll have him on as a guest one day down the road. Maybe I was thinking like maybe after EUIC because he'll be there. Are you going to be there, Steve?
No, I won't be there this year.
Okay, so I don't know if Tristan's going to be there. He said he was thinking about it, but especially if he's not there too, like it'd be cool because I don't think Kaz is going, right? So I think it'd be cool to see if anyone has firsthand experience there, can share some thoughts, and it'll just be good to see like what that bruv is up to these days.
Yeah. Him and Coriander.
Yeah. That's right. And then our most recent episode, I just dropped a very short one just to give everyone a heads up on what's going on and how we just weren't really recording an episode last week.
But there was nothing. There was nothing to
literally
besides the Jukabuki thing, and I think Fashion Week has dropped like after we decided not to. And then Steve just said new co-hosts are Lacey confirmed, which is it's what it is. It's what
True.
No, I do appreciate though all your help on things, all of you. The three of you, including Tristan, who's not here. One reason why I posted that as well is because one, not everyone's on X. So if you post on X, it'd be kind of like, whatever. And then like not everyone would see it. And then two, we don't have a community tab yet. The community tab is where you could like post like actual messages to all your subscribers and stuff, but you need at least 1,000 subscribers for that. So for our listeners,
so tell all your friends.
Tell all your friends and tell yourselves as well, because some people that do listen might be on audio only. But if you could do us a favor and just subscribe to us on the Battle Cats with a Z podcast on YouTube and get us to 1,000. We're over the halfway mark, so we're on our way there. But we'll do our best. We'll do our best to get it so that we can have that for you all. Anyway, that pretty much wraps it up for us this week. Any last words from you two?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yeah. Let's make this year a good one. We'll see how it goes. And we'll see. Maybe next year, every New Year, I have a different set of co-hosts. So. We'll see if these three can survive long enough.
Well, it'll be a good run.
We'll see. Yeah.
We did our best.
That's what they all say, Like even Anchor was like, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll be here." And then I was like, I'm looking, I'm like, "My guy, you were here less time than Speedy was."
Look, all I'm saying is September 14th feels like a pretty dangerous date. So start looking around then.
Yeah. Funny enough, because Worlds is in California too. It could be cool if we record something, just an episode in person. That'd be really, really cool. Audio would look probably really weird, but we'll have to figure that out. I'm sure there's ways. We have like about 8 months, 9 months to plan for 8 months to figure this out. So I think we can figure out how to record.
Got time.
Yeah.
We got time.
Yeah. Everyone like pack your mics and stuff. Everyone got a nice mic. Dude, we're like a real podcast. We're like sitting on a couch, everyone holding the mic and stuff. Like, that'd be so dope,
Yes.
But the production on that is kind of crazy. I don't know how we do it. I wonder if we could like also rent out for like a day, like one of those podcast recording studios just to do that episode. Because they have the equipment
might
stuff,
be
right? That'd be really cool. But we would have to do I feel like we would have to do really something special though to warrant all that. Because like if we're just doing an in-person podcast and we just do everything that we would except in person, I'm like
there would have to be a performance element.
Something has to happen. Maybe we play like a game or something, And loser has everyone brings their spare jelly beans.
Yeah. No, I like that idea. I know of some like small card games that we could do.
We could do stuff.
I won't rope you all into a full Wingspan game, okay?
I don't know what Wingspan is, but I'm down, honestly.
I don't go for a while.
Yeah. No, the second worst part about the jelly bean stuff, obviously the worst part is eating it, but the second worst part about it is if you're with someone and they're eating it and you can smell on their breath. That's also bad too. Yeah. Obviously it's worse
flashbacks.
It's worse for them. It's worse for them for sure, right? But I'm just thinking like it probably wasn't that great for your husband either.
It was not.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. All right, so we'll catch you on the next one. Happy New Year, everyone, and may the exploiters not be on your Q screen. Maybe that'd be it.
It's true.
Have a good one. Bye.